Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So today's video is probably a bit shorter than my normal videos, which I'm sure you'll be very glad to hear. And I'm not doing any guitar playing in this one. Again, there'll be people dancing in the streets with that news coming out. So a few things in this. I guess the first thing I'm going to say is a massive thank you to everyone who watched and commented on my recent video comparing a 1979 Gibson Les Paul and a 1979 Yamaha SG1000. Both very nice guitars. So I guess maybe people want to know what my opinion is, because I specifically said in the video that I wasn't going to tell you what I think. So anyway, here's what I think. Here is my thoughts, my opinion. Now the good thing about opinions are like arseholes. I've got two, none of them stink. So this is just my thoughts, my opinion. You may disagree. Playability. They both play very similarly. They both have pretty much the same kind of neck shape, neck profile, controls the same as well. So playability wise, I think they're exactly equal. I could not pick one over the other one. Sound wise, in the test I did on the video, and anytime I'm doing any recording here, and I have used both guitars for recording purposes and stuff like that, the Yamaha to me overall has a better sound. There's more definition in chords and single notes, and I'm talking about an overall overarching, as some people say in the office worker trade, overarching. I think it has a better all-round tone and sound. I think it has more options, and it has, of course, coil splits on both pickups. When you're playing like across a chord, even with quite a lot of overdrive, I think the pickups on the Yamaha, both the neck and the bridge, I don't know, they're just more articulate. They just, you can hear the notes a bit clearer than that. The Gibson sounds like a Gibson. It's a pummeler. I don't know if that's a real word. It's a rocker. It's a full-on rock machine. I don't think it is as clear on most sounds compared to the Yamaha. I actually did think on the high gain, I think I used a Soldano at the end of that video. I actually preferred the lead sounds, just the solo sounds of the Gibson. But I think overall, if I had to say which guitar sounds best, I think the Yamaha sounds best. I just think it has, I don't know, a more clarity of sound than the Les Paul, and especially if you're doing something that isn't necessarily classic rock. I mean, I am a classic rocker. If I was doing sort of different stuff that needed more nuance, more sort of clean sounds and stuff like that, I would take the Yamaha to the studio rather than taking the Les Paul. So that's it. And the overall sound, my opinion, and I'm very much a fan of Gibson Les Pauls, I think Yamaha actually sounds better. Apart from maybe high gain lead sounds, the Yamaha, I found it quite strange. High gain lead sounds, there's an almost like a plink, like a top end fizz on some of the notes at times, which I think really suits when you're playing chords, more sort of clarity. But I don't know what it is. It just seems to be like a top end, sorry. It's hard to describe, like a ping, a clink, or something like that. So yes, sound wise, other than if I was doing like a solo at the front of the stage at the Donington Monsters of Rock Festival, the Yamaha would be the one that I would be taking to the studio. Now, what else could I go with? I guess the thing that people, and I'm including me in this, the thing that you can't get over in your YouTube videos is which one feels better to play. And I don't mean the simplicity of just like strumming notes. I don't mean playing like that. I mean, but which one feels more comfortable? Like when I have these round my neck with a strap on, and I'm doing a gig, which one do I feel more comfortable with? Because I have gigged with both of these guitars. I feel, me personally, on this video on my YouTube channel, I feel personally more comfortable playing a Gibson Les Paul. The Yamaha, I've played it at gigs, sounded great, sounded really good. Yeah, it didn't feel bad, but I wasn't in my comfort zone, and I appreciate that's maybe bad at times. You want to get out of your comfort zone, but there's certain times, like when you're on stage performing in front of an audience, you need to be feeling comfortable with what you're using, the tools of your trade. It's like a joiner will have his favourite hammer. I didn't feel quite as comfortable with the Yamaha SG, and that may just be because, I'd never owned a Yamaha SG until about 3 years ago. But for me, walking onto a stage, I think my friend John said this. He said, if he was leaving and he had both of these guitars by the door, and they're both, equally good guitars, maybe the Yamaha SG, sound-wise, overall, maybe is a better sounding guitar, he would take the Les Paul, and that's what I would do as well. And it's because it's comfortable to me. It's like an old slipper. Here's how I would sum this up. Both of these guitars were at my door, and somebody phoned and says, "Dunsy, we need you to come to a studio session and cover a whole load of different stuff, from like classic rock to, I don't know, whatever, sort of clean indie stuff, Banshees or something like that, which I really can't play." I would take the Yamaha SG, 100%. That would be the one that I would use for recording. I think it would sound best. I think it's got a more colourful palette than a Les Paul. So that's what I would do if I was leaving to go to a studio date. However, if somebody phoned me and says, "Dunsy, we're doing some classic rock covers tonight, we need you to cover Cheap Trick, Kiss, Thin Lizzy," stuff like that. You can only bring one guitar, and even if I didn't know what I was plugging into, the only guitar I would take, and if the choice was between the Yamaha SG1000 and the Gibson Les Paul, I would take the Les Paul, because I'm used to it. I'm used to the sound of it. I'm used to the feel of it. I'm used to how it hangs on my strap on. So overall, it would depend on the situation. I think they're both great guitars, but situation specific. If I was going to a studio, I would take the Yamaha. If I was going out to play some rock and roll, I would take the Les Paul. So again, thank you folks. I appreciate everybody who took the time to watch my previous video, and everybody who commented as well. I don't know if I'll go back and comment on everybody to say I think you're right or I think you're wrong, because at the end of the day, everybody's right, because it's their opinion. You can't have a wrong opinion. An opinion is simply just your opinion. It's something that you hold and you believe to be correct, and in that way it is correct. Simple as that. Thanks again folks. As ever, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.